Jay Crane, the University of South Alabama.
Blaine Crane, Western Colorado University.
David Cohn, Statesboro High School.
Michigan just keeps letting
blew
you
it.
down.
I don't want to talk
it.
about
You
it.
blew
I
it.
apologize to the Booster Club most of all.
No, look, it's all right, dog.
What
You
can
know
you
we
do?
still love you.
What can you do, man?
March Madness is the greatest postseason event in sports. The Players' Championship is underway as we speak, and the Nets travel to Philly for the first time since trading James Harden. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company.
For sure. That's excessive.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of points.
The nerve-wracking, gut-wrenching, and buzzer-beating moments are upon us already as March has blossomed with conference tournaments happening and bids. And when you look, and I get this argument all the time, and people ask, where does March Madness rank in terms of all postseason sporting events? For me, it's a clear number one. The amount of games is plentiful, as are the glass slipper fittings of Cinderellas most people haven't even heard about all year. And at a time of the year where the sound of the buzzer is a lullaby for those who embrace the moment and a death signal for those who come up short, where else do you consistently get the heart-pounding, vein-popping, wild celebrations of a single elimination tournament that affects every inch of the country? This March has already given us those moments and will continue to give us more as we enter the 68-team melee that will be upon us so very soon. And as far as the seeds go, March Madness is a clear number one. David Cohn, proud Michigan alum, even after the Who's Your Daddy game today. Going to bring him in. And then my brother, Blaine Crane, who Western Colorado, I don't even know how good their basketball team is. But Colorado State, I'll get to that. May have a little pick for them today. And it's a good argument. It's funny. We were talking with guys in the office, and there was a lot of disagreements. You know, the World Series is the greatest postseason sporting event. I think you have to lump the Super Bowl into the NFL playoffs to make it as one. I don't think you can separate it because obviously one's in the other. But does anything get more exciting? And it's a ton of games from teams all across the country. And you always have Cinderellas. You always have teams kind of come out of nowhere, whether it's the George Masons, surprised one guy made it that far, but Loyola Chicago, we can go through the list, UMBC beating Virginia as a 16 seed, beating a 1. To me, Cone, when you look at how many games are decided so late, how many upsets there really are, and it only gets better as it goes. Yeah. It's not like it wanes. So as a sports fan, is basketball my favorite sport? I'll be 100% honest. No, football is my favorite sport.
Yeah.
But as far as postseason sporting events, March Madness is the best, and it's a whole month and a little bit more, starting with the conference tournament.
Some of my earliest sports memories are filling out a bracket, pulling for your team. March is a great example of why you can't just advance a team to the next round because you want them to win.
Yeah.
I think the single elimination factor leads to a lot of this too, and the fact, you're talking about the World Series and baseball playoffs. I mean, over the course of a 7-game series, the best team usually wins that, but the single elimination factor, I think, is what makes March Madness so special. The fact that anyone can win, especially those early rounds. And March is one of those very few times in a year where you can just hug a complete stranger. Either your team won, either your team
I've actually
won, or
done
like
that
today.
before.
Sometimes you need a hug to console you.
Blaine spent some time behind bars for doing that one.
Yeah, well, we're not going to talk about that. And one of the things I love is, having to pick up my phone and look up where to go and find the place with the most TVs.
Yeah, that's
It's a love-to-hate problem. There's 68 teams, which is games on top of games on top of games. I mean, you got upsets, rivalries, buzzer beaters. Your emotions can go to, I'm the happiest person in the world, to I'm crying on the side of the street. That's what just makes it great. And just all the different teams that play. I mean, Arizona basically has a team from all around the world. And now they get to go around America and play teams they would never thought they would play. You see the different styles, and it just keeps getting better and better. And
well, to me, too, you bring up a good point, Cone. In a 7-game series between two teams, the law of averages, for lack of a better term, averages out, I guess you could say. In a single elimination tournament, if you don't show up, that's why. And I need to put this on a shirt. We'll talk to the merch people. The best teams can win what? In multiple ways.
Yep.
You may have a game where you're not shooting well. You may have a game where you are shooting well. Can you play defense? Can you rebound consistently? Can you win in multiple ways in March? And the teams that tend to survive and thrive are the teams that can do the most things well. But the single elimination, hey, you got 40 minutes, dog.
Figure it out.
You got 40 minutes. Either you're going to figure it out or you're going to play a game of, oh, Mom, I'm so upset. Let's go to the bus. We're going home.
And football is single elimination too, but you can only play so many games. This concept, this ability to play multiple games within a week is so cool. And like you said, it stretches out over a full month. So look, basketball was never my favorite sport. It was never the sport that I was the best at in life. But March, every time it came around, you knew that it was going to be exciting. This should be another telling statistic. People who don't even like sports at all will fill out a tournament bracket.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, we all know who wins the tournament bracket.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's the office, wherever, it's the person that knows nothing. They're like, oh,
Favorite.
well, I went to school with the girl whose last name was, Asheville or something. I'm going to go UNC Asheville to make it to the Elite Eight.
They're picking,
like, oh my God, they did it.
They're picking their favorite color.
You have got,
Their dogs picking.
You have guys, you're like, all right, let's see. God, on Wednesdays, they're playing great, averaging about 62 points a game. You're just diving into the numbers. You've watched them all year. And then all of a sudden, they lose in the first round to Loyola Chicago. And the person in the office, whether it be male or female, whatever, is laughing that they won the bracket thing. So that's typically how it goes. But, Blaine, Booster Club, do you want to put out a poll? Is March Madness the greatest postseason event of all time?
I would love it.
I think it's got to be.
Yeah, and I mean, even if let's say you don't care about sports other than the Boston Celtics, right?
Yeah.
Or you don't care about sports except for the Dodgers because you're just a baseball fan. I think that even those people are filling out March Madness brackets, even if they don't know every player on every single team, they're filling out a bracket, and it's something that you can have fun with and ultimately contribute to what sports is so great at in our society, being able to bring us together.
For sure. And obviously, I'm a little under the weather today, but I've never understood the term under the weather because aren't we always like under the weather unless you're in a plane or like, I'm not going to get into that. That's for a cold open. But, a lot of people will make the argument, and I don't think they're wrong. I've been twice. Omaha, College World Series for baseball, it's up there too. I wouldn't put it in one at the number one spot, obviously, but Omaha to me is up there. It could possibly be 3 for me. I actually hadn't gotten a good debate in the office the other day with a guy who was like, listen, there's some similarities here. You have the regionals, then the super regionals, then you have Omaha with, a certain amount of teams, but that is double elimination.
Double elimination and the buzzer beater factor in basketball is so
It's true. You have a lot more. You can't beat it.
I mean, walk-off home runs are up there.
But they're more rare than a buzzer beater.
Yeah, you get way more buzzer. I mean, we've had a look. Wright State really wasn't a buzzer beater because there was like 10 seconds to go when that witch they have number one hit that shot. UT Chattanooga, Virginia Tech last night. I mean, you go down the list. We see them every year, and we've been watching a lot. And we actually have the Virginia Tech clip right here. Let's go ahead and roll that clip. Virginia Tech. It was a hell of a game. Went into overtime, down by 2 to Clemson, 75-73. You're gonna get the inbounds pass. He's gonna work the left side right here. We have one shot. I believe in freedom. Cash. It's unbelievable.
Look at him.
Look at it. And guess what? Clemson.
And this is
Season's
pre-tournament. This is pre-tournament stuff.
This is conference
championship.
We got it going on right now. A&M just hit a 3 with 0.4 seconds to beat Florida in overtime. We've had crazy games. I hate to bring up the Michigan game again. Indiana came all the way back. We had Nebraska have a huge lead against Northwestern, and all of a sudden they were able to, use the law to get their way to 5.
But even the Michigan
crawl
game,
back.
Even the Michigan game. One of our boosters took Indiana. And what was he tweeting? He said,
he said halfway there. He's like, well,
hey, I've already talked to him about it. He's stoked about it.
Long way to go. And what happened? Like, that's another reason why March is so fantastic.
22-2 run.
It is. That's why the parlays.
I will say, though, if you have more fouls and more turnovers than field goals made in the second half, that's on coaching.
Yeah,
that's on coaching.
Justin Tucker had more field goals in 3 games than Michigan did.
At least you didn't have to watch the full Penn State-Minnesota game.
Oh, that was brutal.
That was
Listen,
bad.
if you're a Penn State fan or a Minnesota fan, I'm sorry, but watching that last night almost made me reevaluate how I felt about college basketball.
Look,
it was that boring.
I'm putting my name in the hat. If I'm eligibility left.
Number 12, I'm trying to remember his last name for Minnesota, but number 12 for Minnesota, dribbling the ball up the court, like just so nonchalantly. You know what we call guys like that? They're overkillers. He's an overkiller.
Yeah.
He would just take, hey, Ma, hey, guess what? I made it. It was like a Panic at the Disco song. So that was brutal to watch. Penn State ended up winning it. Some teams play that style, but when you have 2 teams that play that exact same style, it gets a little emotional.
You know, one of the things I've been wanting you to break down for people, because I get this question a lot, is can you talk about what's more important, winning the regular season conference championship or winning the conference tournament as you get propelled into March Madness?
Okay. if we're going to say what's harder, winning the regular season is because you're playing more games.
Sure.
And you're playing home and away. Conference tournament, typically playing in a neutral site. What is more important? I think that is dictated by what conference you were in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying a lot of leagues are one-bid leagues. Very rarely, I mean, you see South Dakota State this year is going to get in at large. Murray State, going to get in at large. There's a couple others. But most of the time in these non-Power 6 leagues, because it's Power 6 in basketball, not like Power 5 in football, you're going to get one bid. So what is that one bid? You got to win that tournament because it's an automatic qualifier. So if you're in a smaller tournament, to me, again, not that it's harder, but the thing that is most beneficial to you is to win the tournament. But if you're a team in the SEC or the ACC or the Big 12 or the Big 10 or the Big East or the Pac-12, winning the regular season carries more weight because you have a chance to get a really high seed because you're winning one of those conferences. Because again, you can have a team, let's just use Texas A&M for example. Texas A&M, I think they're on the last 4 out or maybe the next 4 out. They beat Florida, who was also on the next 4 out, last 4 out, whichever one it was. Now you're squarely on the bubble. Let's say you do win the tournament. You're going to get in, the conference tournament that is, but you're going to be a what? 9 seed, a higher seed. You win the regular season, you're a 1 or a 2 most likely.
Gotcha.
3 at the worst. So I think it just depends on the conference. We have to be able to see the nuance when we're discussing that, but it's a good question.
Great answer.
Yeah. All right, Blade, what's going on with the Booster Club?
I got a good question here from Will Tucker. What's up, Will?
Hey, Will Tucker.
Would the college football playoff be the best postseason event if they added more teams?
Will, number one, I'd like to tell you I love where your head's at right now. Absolutely love where your head's at. They expanded to 8 because I told you I think 8's a good number. 12 would be the cap. I got to see it first. But I think there's a really good chance it could get close. But I'm still probably going to have to go with March Madness.
Speaking about Statesboro High School, man, Will's dad was my offensive coordinator.
Really?
Shout out Will Tucker,
God
Coach
bless
T.
him.
But Will, the answer is no. I think that college football will be I've started to come over to your side on this. I think college football could benefit from expanding the playoff. You were right. But no, because there's always going to be more parity in college basketball than in football, just the nature of the sport, right?
Yeah.
And the opportunities for upsets, especially at the last second with these buzzer beaters, will always be a mechanism that is unique to basketball. I think that's why it's going to remain the greatest postseason event if the NCAA doesn't mess it up. And look, we're hard on the NCAA a lot of times, but this is one they really get right. So keep getting it right.
That is true. Yeah, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Like Oh Boy's drum set off Step Brothers. What else?
You touch my drum set?
I may have.
46 was a fix. What is the next best conference after the SEC in college football?
In college football?
Yes.
To me, it's the Big Ten.
Big Ten.
It's the Big Ten.
Okay.
Yep.
And sure as hell ain't the Pac-12 or the ACC right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the Big Ten.
Okay, while we're on that, what is the top 3 conferences in college football?
SEC, Big Ten,
I mean, the Big 12 is
the Big 12's got to be
teams.
3.
They're hemorrhaging teams, though. I mean,
but it's like the Big 12
Oklahoma-
again. The ACC does have Clemson, who actually makes the playoff. I mean, the Big 12. Heck, 2 years ago didn't have somebody drafted in the first round. We'll see this year. I think it's going to happen. You've got Texas and Oklahoma, Red Rover, coming their ass on over.
Texas and Oklahoma both leaving, but Baylor's been strong, which is great to see. Oklahoma State. Let's see if Oklahoma State stays strong.
You had UCF,
and then
you had Cincinnati, you had Houston.
So let's see what happens there. And then on the Pac-12, let's see can Oregon remain strong? Right, with Dan Lanning now and Mario Cristobal leaving, and how special can Lincoln Riley be in his revitalizing?
Don't forget about Utah, though.
Utah, yep, I agree.
UCLA too,
one of the best coaches. Well, Chip's got to get more consistent. I mean, UCLA,
UCLA,
ICLA.
That kind of takes me to that next question. I mean, is the Pac-12 basically useless in sports other than one team in each sport?
No,
I don't want to say useless. I mean, they're really good in women's tennis and science Olympiad.
Look what the Pac-12 did in the tournament last year. We're talking about the same thing. Listen, UCLA has not been playing well in basketball, right? But is anyone going to be surprised with what they have returning right now if they made it to the Final Four?
Well, I want to say this too, as a lover of college sports and as a college football purist, and I guess you could really use any sport in this, I want every conference to be good. Yes. I know that'll never happen. And I'm for meritocracy. I'm not going to sit here and be like, all right, everybody's even. Here's a participation trophy for everybody just because you're from here and you're from there, whatever. No, that's not what I'm saying. But for the sport to operate at the highest output that it can. The Pac-12 needs to be good. USC needs to be good. Oregon needs to be good. UCLA needs to be good. Utah needs to be good. Hell, Oregon State needs to be good. The Big Ten, Ohio State, Michigan. It's nice to see Michigan get back a little bit. You go through Penn State, all those schools. You go to the ACC. You need Florida State to be good.
Miami.
You need Miami to be good. So I want it to be as good as it can possibly be, to operate at the highest pace it could operate. And for that, not just the old blue bloods and the old style branded traditional schools. I want everybody to be good because it makes them more competitive. And you talk about a great playoff. Mm-hmm. What happens if you got dogs coming in from all over? And that's what we see with the NCAA tournament. Now, you can't have 64 teams in football. That sport doesn't work like that. But what I'm saying is, how cool will it be if you do have a playoff that expands to 8? Because it gets solved on the field. And I'm not going down the rabbit hole of the meritocracy argument, because anybody that says it's not a meritocracy that gets played out in the field, I got some great beachfront property in Kansas I'll sell you for a price you'll never forget.
Amen.
All right, we got a question here from Justin Decker. How does Oscar Sigue win Player of the Year, but Jabari is projected to be the number 1 pick?
Because those are two different things. Yep. Mm-hmm. We've seen a lot of guys, again, Aiden Hutchinson's probably going to be the first person taken, but is he the best player in college football? No. To me, the National Player of the Year is the player that is most valuable to his team. I am not saying Jabari Smith is not valuable to Auburn. Without Jabari Smith, Auburn's not nearly where they are or what they're going to do, in my opinion. But Oscar Sigue is almost, in my opinion, 50% of Kentucky. He dominates the rebounds consistently. Double-double machine. He's able to operate without getting in foul trouble a lot. He's a leader of that team. They can work inside out with him. He can play his back to the basket. He's developed that mid-range shot too as well. To me, Oscar Sigue, if you take him off Kentucky, it's a bigger hit than if you take Jabari off of Auburn. And what the NBA looks at, again, different teams need different positions.
Sure.
So you can't say, well, we got an all-NBA center, all-pro center, whatever, or an all-pro 4 or 3, which Jabari can play both. Heck, he can probably play the 2. But we're going to draft Jabari Smith because he's just that good. You draft at positions of need. So, and it's a lottery, I know, in the NBA. It's not like the NFL or other sports and leagues. But to me, those are two totally different things.
Yes, and not only,
good question.
Not only is it based on need, but the NBA is the one sports organization who will draft based off potential.
True
any
potential.
Of the other ones. And I mean, actually, Jabari Smith, to me, while I don't think he's reached his ceiling in basketball yet, he's going to be a phenomenal pro. He actually has done more at the collegiate level than a lot of number 1 picks. I remember when Andrew Wiggins went and people were like, I mean, the NBA is so willing to draft a guy high just off potential and not what they've already done.
That's true, because they're two totally different things. The production level, Jabari's been unbelievable, especially lately, but Oscar's consistent production level from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, he's National Player of the Year. I don't have a problem with it at all.
I don't either. I think it's super close. So, all right, question here. Are super conferences on the way and 2 separate national championships for Power 5 and non-Power 5?
Okay, here's my thing on that. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way. I can see the super conferences. You kind of look at the SEC getting to 16. Eventually, to me, the conferences are going to overload themselves, and you're going to end up having, you go from Pangea to all spread out. It's going to be the opposite. It's all going to come in. What I would propose, and again, I'm going to have we get closer to football season, I'm going to have a whole kit and caboodle on this bad boy. Why don't we have, if it's an 8-team playoff, why don't we have a top 25 for the Power 5? A top 25 for the Group of 5. And at the end of the year, the team that finishes number 1 in the Group of 5, top 25, gets an automatic bid into the 8-team playoff. Okay, and I'm going to get into automatic qualifiers and how that works and how many at-larges you get, because there's Power 5. You got 5 Power 5 conferences. If it sticks that way, then you could have 2 at-large and the 1 Group of 5 in there. I don't like separating the national championship for the Group of 5 and the Power 5. I don't. We saw Cincinnati make it this past year. Not that they could win it. Y'all know me. If you kept up with us, telling you Cincinnati was a great story, but so is, Little Red Riding Hood and Hansel and Gretel. But I don't like the idea of separating the championships, especially once you see all these Group of 5 teams that are starting to get inherited in these Power 5 conferences as they're kind of moving around and amalgamating in different ways, which I knew I was going to use that word at some point. I'm just glad I got to use it. Shout out Miss Sanford, 6th grade teacher. So no, it's a good question.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
You want to move on to punt and go?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm actually going to change punter go to layup or go for the green since we're going to start with the players here. Hideki Matsuyama.
This was coming.
Hideki Matsuyama withdraws from the players due to back pain. So my statement here is, this hurts Blaine's chances of winning our pool, no?
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to go for it.
No, it does.
Yeah, so who did you say? Didn't you tweet out who you taking now?
Yeah, I'm taking the thick Marshall Mathers. Give me Brooks Koepka.
Brooks Koepka? Pick Marshall Mathers?
The blonde.
I love it.
bomber.
Rory, I know he teed off at 1.
It's suspended right now, the weather.
Yeah,
It's
the
suspended
weather.
with the
Yeah,
weather
the weather's
still.
bad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be
I think
yucky.
Harold
I know, Tommy Fleetwood was at 4 under.
Yeah.
Harold Varner Jr., I think, was at 4 under. There was a couple other guys.
And then
They
I
were
think
up there as
they
well.
got stopped at hole 11, I think.
They're at 11. Okay. So we're gonna keep you updated on that.
But so you took Koepka instead.
Yeah, Hideki.
After he teed off or before?
Before.
Before.
Okay.
It was
It's on Twitter. You
before.
can check the time.
It was the
Timestamp?
It was official.
Timestamp that?
It was
Okay,
official.
good deal.
Correct.
All right. Here we go, boys.
Hit me
The
with it.
Nets go to Philly. The 76ers for the first time.
Good.
Okay, since trading James Harden. So my statement here is Kyrie will go off for 50 points again and make a statement against his former teammate. You going for that or punting?
I'm going opposite at 10 cup here. We're gonna lay up. We're gonna lay up. Kyrie, unbelievable player. Duh. I don't think he's going to be able to. God, he scored, 50 points on 19 shots?
19 shots.
Talk about efficiency. And I'm not,
9 for 12 from 3.
yeah, unbelievable, 100% which. But I don't think he's going to be able to recreate that, especially when you're going against the dynamic duo of the future NBA champions of 2022, the Philadelphia 76ers, with Joel Embiid and James Harden, who can shoot it anywhere from Tucson to the Garden. So the Nets, to me, cool story. You know, Ben Simmons is going to
They're Cincinnati to you.
Hey.
The Nets are Cincinnati.
Let me finish. Can
Okay.
I finish?
Go ahead, Kanye.
Okay, okay. Whatever. Okay, that makes you Kim K then. To me, when I look at this game, it's going to be very hyped up. Got KD, got Kyrie.
Yep.
To me, I think Joel Embiid goes off this game. I think he goes off. You got the supporting cast around. They want to prove a point. Philly, they're hearing the hype. Magic Johnson coming out saying the Sixers going to maybe the NBA champions, which I agree. I'm 100% with them on that. It's been a good flow, hustle and flow. And the Sixers, to me, look very confident. Not that the Nets aren't, but Ben Simmons is going to actually travel with the team. So Ben Simmons is actually a real person. So he's going to travel with the team, but he's not going to play. He's not going to play. So
Why travel? Why make this your first game?
Water bottle.
Yeah,
Get the water bottle.
Again.
Yeah,
I guess
it's such a Ben Simmons move. But I don't want to talk about Ben Simmons. I want to talk about the game.
Well, I want to talk about Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I'm sure
he's
you
going to sit on the bench with
sure
earmuffs, so he can't hear them making fun of him and all this other stuff. But I think the Sixers tonight send a message to the NBA world. We're here, and we're super duper pissed.
Blaine, jump in.
Well, I'm just excited to see a great basketball.
Sixers by 12.
That's what I'm excited about. This doesn't feel like a regular season NBA basketball game. It almost feels like a little bit of a playoff game. And I wouldn't be surprised if all 4 of these guys go off. Joel,
Here we go.
James, Kevin, Uncle Drew.
First name basis for you there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we're boys. We've been boys for a while. But anyways, but I'm just excited to see this game. I mean, Philly -4. I mean, Brooklyn, you're going on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to like your odds here.
Well, of course Brooklyn does, so Kyrie can play.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's already a win. But, you wouldn't be wrong to sprinkle a little money on money line Brooklyn, right?
So you like the Nets?
Of course.
Straight up. You like the Nets straight
No,
up?
I'll give them covering 4.5.
Oh, well, why would you tell people to sprinkle money on a money line?
Sprinkle. That doesn't mean I'm going to bet it. I would say sprinkle.
So you let
this
them
is the
bet
life-
that much.
Do you not want to go 4.5?
You'll
Do you not want to go 4.5?
I'll take the Sixers 4.5.
All right, there it is.
Hell, I'll give you 5.
No, I want 4.5.
How about I'll give you 5?
No, I don't want 4.5.
I'll give you 5.
Nothing less or over. In the words of Drake.
Drizzy.
So
I want
this
it 4.5.
isn't a
This is
throw your
showdown.
whole life savings on this?
Yeah.
I at least know these guys are in shape,
what-
and not in the club in Miami. At least know that, right?
Yeah, maybe Masvidal. Maybe somebody will get knocked out in this one. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, move on.
Look, according to Coach Boeheim, his son Buddy accidentally swung his arm yesterday and quote unquote barely touched another player. My statement here, we have this clip too. If Buddy Boeheim pulled this in our 3v3 tournament next week, things would get awfully physical. Punter go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Number one, you go to the Y, or you go to the Rec, or you go to a church league and you throw a move like this, you're catching one in the teeth, buddy.
Yeah, it's going to be
Pun
Clemson.
intended.
It was going to be Clemson Duke real quick.
Yeah, it's
go
gonna
for a
be
layup.
real-
Go
yeah,
for a layup.
For sure. Let's play the clip.
Thunder.
This is, and Jim Boeheim said this is inadvertent. Let's see. Comes in, gets bumped the box out. Then I'm going to punch you in the stomach. this is cheap to me. That shows me that you're really not about it, in my opinion. And then then Jim Boeheim's going to come. Look at this right here. I'm boxing you out. It was a little physical on the box out. Then he's going to punch him in the stomach. My thing is this, and I know you're his dad, Jim Boeheim. I get it. I get it. And you're trying to take up for him. I get that a little bit. But you don't have to say it was inadvertent. If that's inadvertent, then I guess I don't know what is advertent.
And he said, well, he was pushing Buddy around, and I taught my son, don't let people push you around. Look, there's other ways to
He
win.
wasn't pushing you around.
Yeah, he
boxing you out.
He's just boxing you out. Have you ever played with a coach's kid who's just the worst? Not at playing, just like the worst.
The answer is yes.
Because he's the coach's kid, feels like he can take every shot. Yeah. Just a whiny baby. I'm not saying that's him, but that was my dad's
that tells me a little bit about you.
Yeah.
You know, and look, Buddy, and I'll say this, I said the same thing about Juwan Howard, and these situations are different. I'm not going to judge you based on your worst action. Is Buddy Boeheim probably a good guy? He is. But man, like you do that outside of something that's not televised that people get suspended for, you get beat up. That's what happens.
All right. The MLB has canceled another week of games. My statement to you is Dana White should run every professional sports league.
They are getting a little bit closer, I heard today.
Heard they're getting closer.
A little bit closer, so now they're this close.
Okay.
It's been a joke. We've talked about it a ton on this show. Whether it's the certain amount of owners, because I agree with a lot of what the players are saying. I agree with a lot of it. But baseball continues, and I'll use the term again, to Edward Norton from Fight Club itself, just beat themselves up for no reason. At the end, they're like, hey, why'd we do that? Oh, we're insane. That's why. So hopefully they get something done soon. You can only miss so many games, but it's just been a bad look for baseball in a year where they could have really added some more punch coming off a great postseason last year. The Braves winning it, which made it even sweeter in my opinion.
Super sweet.
I just want to see what the bases look like.
Yeah, the huge bases.
What's going on?
They're like, you think
everyone's safe?
Someone was in just a meeting like, what if?
Yeah.
Don't worry about this other stuff. We made the bases.
Look, you know what to make more people watch? What do people in the military like? What, bigger bases?
We're not going to pay you more, but the bases are bigger and you'll always be safe.
That's exactly right. Now, competitive balance tax, is it a salary cap? No, don't worry about that. But we're going to make the bases bigger. You'll be safer.
My last one for you, Texas State baseball.
Yeah.
I upset number 1 Texas 6-4. We have a clip of it.
Yes.
The horns down symbol will gain even more traction now that everyone knows Texas hates it.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows Texas hates this. But I do want to set this clip up. So this is the bottom of the 9th. Texas down to Texas State. Shout out San Marcos.
Yes, sir.
The inning before, the pitcher for Texas State struck out 3 guys in a row from Texas, the setup guy. And he struck out the last guy and he looked at the dugout and flexed. He gave him a little bit of the Steve Austin. So watch the emotion. This is what makes college baseball so cool. You see it in professional baseball. You got little Texas State, little brother coming number 1 Texas. Texas has been really dominant, and then they're going to shove it for 9 innings and end it with this. Let's play the clip.
Froze them.
In the stretch.
Oh, you feel it.
3-2.
I'm going to.
Oh, the hook. Look at him to the dugout. No, sir. Horns down.
People will be surprised. You think there's a lot of crap talking to football? Baseball, it is every inning.
There is a lot more, but I mean, look at the emotion here. And again, we've shown a lot of college sports. Man, it's awesome. You throw the hook here. How do you get caught looking? How do you get caught looking 3-2? You got to go down swinging. And that's where the term came from. But you got horns down, baby. And look, Texas fans hate that.
Hey. Breaking news, Major League Baseball and the MLB Players Association have reached a tentative agreement on a new labor deal.
Just hold on, Blaine.
Is the sky falling?
Players can report to spring training camps. Players can report to spring training camps as early as tomorrow. Opening day is expected to be April 7th.
Yes! And it breaks on the show. You know what? I think they just listened to that segment.
They listened to
I think they got so worried about us telling everybody to boycott the first month. Now, the real thing is, do you still boycott the first month?
They're never going to boycott it.
No, I'm talking about the first month. Part of me wants to do it.
No, the first, and my get off my lawn, I said the first series.
The first series.
First series, right?
The first series.
Even the diehard
Send a
fans out
message.
there.
You know what the kids call that nowadays? a clapback.
No, seriously.
Look at you.
Use our purchasing power because we're going to keep seeing this every 5 years with new CBA halts, right?
I'm just glad they got something done, but I'm still. It's like, you know what? You know what I'm like right now? It's like the worst when your parents like aren't even mad at you, but they're like, I'm disappointed in you. I'm just disappointed. I'm not even mad anymore. I'm past that. And now that you guys have figured it out, I am a little more emotionally stable, a little bit. But I'm disappointed in you. I want you to go up to your room. I want you to think about it. I'll bring dinner up there. No computer, no phone, no games, no Fortnite, no what is it playing? Elder Scrolls or whatever they're playing now. You know,
Elden Ring.
What's it called?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
You're getting a lot of hours on that one.
Yeah.
Not really.
So what's it like hanging out with Gandalf?
Not really. First of all, it's one of the best games that's been made in a while.
Oh, okay.
It is. Other than that, I kind of lost faith after they quit making NCAA. So,
Well, they're going to make it again.
I'll see
Greatest
MLB,
game of
like
all
the
time.
MLB.
I want to be an announcer on ESPN or on NCAA.
I love it.
I want to be like one of the commentators. They've had
love
Brad Nessler. We've seen
Look,
it.
there's been a lot of phenomenal road to glory Blaine Cranes in that game.
Blaine has had some really good.
There's a guy named DJ Stone, running back from North
was
Carolina, the coldest player I've ever
He
met in
was
my life.
cold.
But we'll talk about
I
it
remember
another day.
that greatest game ever. All right, Blaine, Booster Club. What do they say?
Got a question here, and I know you'll love this question.
Oh, here we
For the
go.
Atlanta Braves, if they don't re-sign Freddie, is that franchise demoralizing? Is that a demoralizing mistake?
Yes. He's not super old, but that team is really young. He is that calming presence, that kind of veteran guy, while Acuna and Albies and those guys are doing like 360 backward flips on the field and like dapping it up, like running first. Freddie's that calming presence. I'm going to let the ball travel. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to get myself out of slumps. Unbelievable defensive player. He is the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when somebody says the Atlanta Braves to me, I don't think of Acuna first.
No.
I think of Freddie Freeman.
Sure.
So, number one, if y'all let him go to the Dodgers, don't do it, Blaine.
Don't even say it,
Don't
Blaine.
say it, Blaine.
Put the pinstripes on.
No,
He's not
don't
going
say
to the
it.
Yankees.
He's not going to the Yankees.
Go, Freddie, just go.
Man,
No.
They'll
It'll
pay
never
you,
happen.
Freddie. Petty.
It would be.
Freddie, they'll pay you. They don't have to worry about it. Won't talk about
it's
it.
not going to
Stop
happen.
even putting it in the universe.
Look, it's a
Hand
general
your salary,
manager's.
And let's go get you.
You got the mute button over there?
I wish I still had the mute,
have
but
it?
we're working on that. I'm working
don't
with
got
Mike
it.
on that.
Sorry,
okay?
David. You
Look,
don't got it.
It's a general manager's responsibility to put together the best team on the field without emotion, okay? I get that.
Yeah.
But it's the owner's responsibility to listen to what the fans want most. You talk to any Braves fan, they want Freddie Freeman there. He's stuck with you through the tough times. When you wanted to rebuild, he's stuck with you. You did rebuild. Now you're World Series champions. You're not going to bring back your best and most important
let's do a
player?
little experiment. here.
If you,
I'm not-
it looks terrible.
I'm the owner of the Braves, and let's just say
I'm Freddie Freeman.
Alex Anthopoulos walks in.
Yeah. You want me to?
I want you to be Alex Anthopoulos.
Okay.
I'll be Freddie.
Listen, we're going to go small ball style here. I think that if we get rid of Freddie, we'll save some room. You know, I think that we can get someone else in who can produce just as much. And look, we got Acuna, we got Albies. I think that we can do better here, and we just let him go.
So you want to get rid of Freddie is what you're telling me.
Yeah. The Yankees are interested.
How much do you make a year? Hold on. Somebody's going to go the door.
A couple mil.
A couple mil? Okay. Yeah, well, you're fired, and I'm going to give that to Freddie. Come in.
Oh, we just won the World
Hey,
Series.
it's hey, Coach, it's Freddie.
No,
I just heard what he said, and you
don't
know,
overtake the scene.
I believe I'm going to take my talents to New York.
Yeah, of course. Blaine's like,
Uber's here.
Blaine's like Michael Scott on the Improv where he always has a gun. That's what he just takes over everything. He
would
can
be
let
worse?
us get 2 sentences out before he knocked on the door.
What would be worse, Alex Anthopoulos getting fired from the Braves after winning the World Series, or Zach Taylor getting fired from the Bengals after taking him to the Super Bowl?
To me, it would be Anthopoulos because you actually won it. But I know, and look, Alex did a really, really good job, and he's not dumb enough, I think, to make this move. But if I'm the Braves owner, and you even the words Freddie Freeman and we're getting rid of, or we need to move on, come out of your mouth, I'm moving on from you. And if my wife doesn't agree with it, I'm moving on from her too.
How fun was it to be the Braves owner for a few minutes there?
It was awesome.
Did you feel richer?
Coming off a World Series, it was a great situation. I loved it. Mentally, I went and hung out at the Battery for a little bit. But all right, Blaine, a couple more booster questions.
All right, not a question, but a comment here. Kyle Jenkins says, put them pinstripes on Freddie.
Kyle,
They'll
y'all
look
can
phenomenal.
get out, Kyle.
A lot of
I don't
collusion.
want y'all putting that in the universe.
There's a lot of collusion and corruption.
There
on the
is.
chat over
This
there.
side of the room is disgusting right now.
A lot of
and you
bad-
know what? I doubt Kyle.
Good.
Said,
Palpatine
Let him
bad
hate.
energy over there.
I doubt
Let him
Kyle
hate.
even said that. I
All right,
think
got a
Blaine's
question
just
here. When will the Rangers make the MLB playoffs?
You know, I've never had a problem with the Rangers, to be honest with you. I was a big Juan Gonzalez guy. Pudge Rodriguez.
Sure.
It needs to be soon. Now, I'll tell you what, though. They eliminate the shift. It's going to help the Rangers a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah.
You know, who they have? I mean, Gallo, he's got to be more consistent. I would say, because Houston, the Astros have just dominated, you know, that state in baseball now for a while. I would say within the next 3 years. Not next year. They've got to add some more pieces, but I do like the Rangers organization. I hope they do it soon. All right, Blaine.
All right, Matthew Cooper, hashtag Ask Crane and Company, new subscriber, new Daily Wire listener.
Let's go.
Yes,
What are you guys going to do for the NFL draft?
We're going to get Taylor Lewan.
I'm actually
going to
be in
First
it.
of all, you're going to get Tannenbaum in.
Yeah, but we're going to get our boy Mikey T. Listen, it's going to be a whole thing. Right now, we've got something in the works where we may actually have our own draft as well while the draft is going on simultaneously. Our producer would get mad if I told her early. But we got a super special surprise. Thanks for subscribing. Tell everybody, I know you're enjoying it. It's a good time. Listen, just a couple sports guys just talking sports.
I have
and no politics.
I also have one Thursday trivia question for you guys.
Yeah, let's get to it.
You want it now?
I want it now.
March Madness
real quick.
edition.
All right,
Oh
the
yeah,
poll
go ahead.
first.
You got a poll?
Is the March Madness the greatest postseason event of all time?
I'll go
You're
first.
up.
Yes, 58%.
Yes, 59%.
No, 30%. And yes, 7%.
Why do you say it like that? Why do you do that?
It's beautiful.
I'll still take the victory.
You know what? It's like they say in Batman. Some men just want to see the world burn.
That's it.
That's Blaine.
That's him.
Blaine is the guy that robs the bank and burns the money. That's Blaine.
All
He
right.
wants to see the world burn.
Thursday trivia. Thursday trivia, there's only one question, okay? But you can get 2 points.
C.
What seed was the lowest ever to win the NCAA tournament? I want the school and their seeding.
Give me NC State with Jim Valvano and a 9 seed.
Okay.
God, I said that with a lot more confidence.
You have 10 seconds, Blaine.
Come on,
I'm
Blaine.
going to start singing the Jeopardy music.
Yeah.
Lowest seed to
wish
win
your
the
mother
NCAA tournament. Team and the seeding.
Figure it out. Time's up. Elite.
UConn, 8 seed.
Okay, 8 seed is correct.
God!
That one, but it was Villanova, 8 seed in 1985.
God! Was NC State? I guarantee there's 7 seeders.
I knew it was an 8 seed. It was UConn or Villanova.
Villanova. And Jake, you're bullish on Villanova this season.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when everything's even, Jay Wright. When everything's even, Jay Wright. Don't sleep on Nova. They're going to win the Big East tournament too. But I tell you what, St. John's and Mike Anderson is scary. All right, Blaine, one more booster question.
Getting there.
Figure it out.
All right, Damager, what matchup in the NBA Finals do you want to see?
I want to see Suns and Sixers. Suns
Yes,
and Sixers.
there we go.
Just to see the
That's it.
Sixers lose.
That's it. I want to see Chris Paul get back too with the Suns.
Yes,
But by the way, had somebody comment on YouTube. Big win for the Suns yesterday against the Heat on the road. Oh boy, took him plus 10. I'm trying to remember who it was. They took him plus 10. That was a hell of a pick.
I will take. Give me the Suns. Give me the Celtics.
Suns and the Celtics?
Suns and the Celtics. That's what I want to
Give
see.
me-
Celtics been playing a lot better lately,
what I
especially
thought
from the beginning of the season.
Look,
Jason Tatum
The
is a
people that
problem,
said trade Jaylen Brown look so stupid right
How'd you
now.
ever do that?
They look so stupid. All right. Appreciate that. Tonight's the night. It is the night. Tonight. The premiere of our next big hit, the Hyperions. The pre-show begins at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you head to the Daily Wire YouTube channel. Set a reminder to catch the live showing. I promise you won't regret it, and I don't promise that a lot. It's not woke and has zero agenda because just like Crane and Company, when it comes to entertainment, just having fun is really all that matters. No politics. So check out the trailer.
Good day, Hyperion Club members.
We've come for one thing. Our Titan badges.
This Titan badge can grant an individual superhuman power. Perhaps it's time for someone else to take on the responsibility.
On my way.
She's trying to destroy me.
The Hyperions is a dysfunctional family film with throwback vibes, and it's 100% worth the watch. We'll be streaming the film just once, tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for all of YouTube and the world to see. But after that, you have got to be a member to get in on the action. So head to thedailywire.com/subscribe so you don't miss any more of the growing cachet of content we have to offer. content like this show. And if you're a Daily Wire member, you could submit questions for our Mailbag Monday. Get those in ASAP. Go to our show page, click on the little airplane to submit your question. Also, go listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with your friends. We just hit #1 in the world thanks to you guys. We want to stay there. We'll be right back with the Booster Club and picks, and may find a mute button for Blaine. And also, I may be your Hyperion. You'll find out later.